Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. Let's talk about how stupid it is when people talk about anger management issues or anger in and of itself. If I'm in a court case and I'm going to trial and a guardian ad litem or even a psychologist says, I have an anger problem and I should have less time with the children, I'm going to be asking them a line of questioning like this. Do you think anger is evil in and of itself or a wrong emotion in and of itself? They should say no. And if they're confused, I would say, well, do you think there's good anger and there's bad anger, or all anger is bad? Sometimes you got to talk to these people like they're in third grade. and so, um, and then they'll say, they should say there is some good anger. So then, if it gets confusing or crazy, I'll say, if they say, oh, all anger is bad. So if a father or mother, if their daughter is raped and they're angry at the rapist, is that bad anger? So there's obviously righteous anger or righteous indignation. And of course, there's obviously bad anger when somebody is angry at somebody and they stab and kill them because they're angry, or they beat the snot out of them, or they rape them, or whatever because they're mad at the world. So there's obviously bad anger. That kind of goes without saying. So then I'll ask the guardian ad litem or the psychologist or whoever says, the parenting evaluator, the mother on the stand, oh, the father's got anger management problems. Okay, so you get the person, whoever's on the stand, to admit that there is good anger and there's bad anger. So let's say you have like a odometer or something, or a gauge. Here's bad anger over here, and then here's good anger all the way over here to the other side. So there's good anger and there's bad anger. We know both extremes. So where is the gauge, or how do you measure when the good anger crosses over and becomes the bad anger? I would ask them, see, I don't know anybody who's ever asked anybody this question once in the history of family court. In 25,000 cases, I've never heard anybody who's accused, if you're accused of anger management, your attorney says, oh, well, let's just go through the system. Let's just go through the process. Let's get the anger management assessment. They don't challenge or question. See, attorney is supposed to advocate for you and challenge everything. In criminal court, the attorney doesn't even care if you're guilty or not. They will fight and argue tooth and nail just to make the prosecutor do their job and prove you're guilty. So a defense attorney doesn't really have an obligation to, if my client's guilty, I got to make sure that I don't represent them. They could still object because the other side has to, they have to play the game right. If they cheat, your attorney can say, look, you're cheating. If you are a murderer or whatever. So even if somebody's right, you still challenge everything. But you guys got family law attorneys who won't even challenge anything when you have a right to do so, because they're thinking, oh, well, I won't win that challenge, or I'm a big sissy little coward, so I'm not going to try that. The whole purpose of going to trial is to confront your accusers. So why do you think you can't expose your accusers or destroy their credibility? This is why I yell in some of my videos. This is why I get outraged. Because the stuff that I say, most of the stuff I say in my videos, all you got to do is use half a brain. It's common sense. If you just take the time to think about what they said and what the law is, or what my rights are, you know that you're innocent of being a bad parent until somebody proves that you're guilty of being a bad parent. You know the truth of your case. You know that if somebody goes to court and lies, that they're going to fumble and stumble all over their lies if you ask them the right questions, just like in regular life. If somebody lies about you, say, well, if you're saying this about me and I cheated, you're running around saying I cheated my girlfriend and trying to get me to break up with her to break up with me. Where was I the night I supposedly cheated? Oh, you were with your girl. No, I got receipts. I was here at, I don't know, Pizza Hut or whatever. You would ask somebody a question to set them up. We know how to do it in regular life. It's not that much different in court. This one takes a little bit deeper thought. And, after hearing over and over people accusing somebody of having an anger problem, it just hit me one day. Wait a minute. How do they know when anger is bad? Because there is good anger. So you ask him, where's the scientific measurement stick or barometer, or what testing did you use? You admit that there's good anger and that there's bad anger. Where do you get the expertise to determine when anger is good or bad? And what tools do you use to decide when it crosses the line? They don't have an answer. You're calling if you were to do this stuff, you would call their bluff. And once you say, oh, that's bad anger, how do you know that person's anger problem affects the children negatively? And here's where I get into another question or a demand that I have of the court. It's automatically dangerous for the children to not have a father. If I'm a child abuser or a child molester or a rapist or a mentally ill maniac, if I am pushed out of the children's life, and if I endanger the children, then I should be pushed out of the kid's life. The children still suffer. That doesn't make their life wonderful when you push me out. They have a void of a loving father in their life. Unless they find a good stepdad who replaces that child, there's still always a yearning for the biological father to have his act together or whatever. So they suffer when a father's not around, period. So if you're going to push the father out because of some prima facie, on the surface, hot air allegation that I got an anger problem, see, the family court, you throw out a buzzword, it triggers everybody, and they go, oh my God, that buzzword, let's destroy his rights. And your punk ass sissy bitch made attorneys don't stand up to how they do that. Your attorneys don't even know about Troxel versus Granville. They don't even know about your rights because there's some stupid jackass prima donna, yuppie stuck up bitch or, arrogant prick, pretty boy whose parents got them through law school. That doesn't mean they know jack squat about going toe to toe with somebody in court. It's just enraging how stupid these moronic idiots are. And we worship them and kiss their ass and bow down before them because they got a law degree in a fancy office building where they wear a power suit and tie. And they're idiots. I got this one, gay stalker type of, hater. This attorney from Chicago, he jumped on my interview with Pearl, and then I did a video exposing him, and he just got on there and he's talking smack. He's such an arrogant prick, he doesn't realize how stupid he looks. There's nothing worse than arguing with somebody and they look stupid and they don't know it and they're talking shit and they're arrogant about and they're looking stupid to everybody and they just don't get it. So I'm going to tell, after I expose a guardian ad litem or whoever, first of all, a guardian ad litem who's a lawyer or a social worker, they don't have expert testimony or expert knowledge to testify to the psychology of anger and how it affects the child. Everybody's testifying above their pay grade. And your attorney isn't attacking it. This is why you guys need to know the rules of evidence. I have a rule of evidence video in my store that breaks stuff down for an hour and 20 minutes. It's cheaper than a consult with me, and you get to keep the video and watch it over and over. And you learn about the rules of evidence in a way that your attorney never even most of your attorneys don't even tell you about the rules of evidence. They're certainly not going to break it down for you. You need to be able to fight and exclude evidence that shouldn't be allowed in court. But once we get to the point where I call BS on their hot air allegation that I got an anger problem, then I'm going to say it's an automatic danger according to the science, the data, and everybody in society knows it's an automatic danger to children when a father's not in the home. You need to make a finding of a greater danger of me being around the children than my absence. Since it's an uncontested fact that they will be in danger if you push me out, then you need to find a good reason why to push me out, that my presence is a greater danger. What they usually do is say, I'm going to push you out while we're investigating. I'm going to push you out just in case. You can't do that. You need to make an argument. They need to make a finding of fact of a greater danger because it's dangerous to the children if I'm pushed out. So there's a little bit of argument there.